Okay, here is the switching assembly and adjustments, alignment points, everything in that assembly. We got a bunch of dirty patters or trimmers, a bunch of dirty ones, and it looks like we're going to get in there and get a good chance to get some cleaning done on those wafers. Yeah, you can see there wasn't these two. These go to the tuner. This is input from the external antenna terminal strip. This is for the lamps on the one side, and this is for the lamps on the far side. And this section here is for your band spread, and all the rest of it is for your RF switching, your antenna switching, and your oscillator switching, as well as the lamp switching. That this end wafer is just for the lamps. So there's that. Here is the void. The void gets devoid. So I mean, once you pull that section out of there, I mean, it looks pretty naked. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and do a little prodding and poking and seeing what we can do with the broken wires here on some of these coils, and we'll get the switching area on the wafers cleaned up, and take care of any other cleaning that we got to do on that. And then we're going to jump into getting these caps replaced. Yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to have more of this destruction coming soon. Alright, here is that tuner switching network here that houses the wafer switches for the band selections and the lamps. We got it cleaned up, and we got it prepped to go back in. I managed to get this connection back on that coil. This connection back on this coil, and this connection here back on that from that coil, and everything else I think is copacetic. We've got all the clip leads that we took loose from other parts of the chassis. We got them tinned up and ready to go back in. We did clean up the wafer sections as good as we could get, and the trimmers. So this here is going to be ready to go back in as soon as I can get the chassis ready. Right now it's in the booth. You won't call it a booth. And in the back of my shed, getting the black components blackened again, and then we're going to strip off everything else, cap the blacks, and well, not in a literal sense. We don't bust a cap on the blacks. I mean, the black components are going to get masked off, and they are going to get protected, and everything else is going to be masked that needs to get, and we're going to refinish the chassis before we recap it. So this is setting, waiting for that. We got the tuner cleaned up, and I think what we are going to do while the chassis is being refinished is, and get my papers. Do you have papers cleared out of the way. Let's turn on a little light here. A little light. We're gonna take these apart and clean them up and polish the glass if we can without doing any damage. We're gonna get the needles cleaned up and refreshed, and this felt on the back, I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to go with that felt. It's going to be a toss-up. I'm going to wait for the felt when we get this thing apart, because I got different colored felts over there, and we may elect to go with something just a slight tinge brighter, but for the cabinet inside hardwood, I still got to come up with a finish for it, and that will lead me to a good direction on what to do with this felt. I may even go check and see if there's any other color felt that I could use for it. So we can do these in the meantime while the chassis is being refinished. And it's going to take a day, for a good portion of the day, to get it touchable again. So stay tuned, and we're going to come up with some more stuff. Okay, moving on to the speaker. I had this speaker checked out just to make sure it was still viable, because I wasn't getting anything when I did a checkout on the chassis, and I thought I suspected it might be the Philco or something like that, because it wasn't like I mentioned, it made a little wispy sound, kind of like what you'd get if the Philco was open, and it didn't create that magnetic field needed for the reciprocal dynamic forces that are applied whenever you want to say something into the speaker or whatever the hell, whatever. So I checked the voice coil and the field coil are good. I think the sheet shows for 800 ohms, it's like 809 ohms. So it's right there. The audio transformer, I checked it out. It is good and insane. Now back here we've got the chassis, getting the transformers refinished, and then tomorrow we are going to strip down the chassis, not me, the chassis, and mask everything else off so that we can get a finish on this. I think what I'm going to do is is there are some rough spots on the surfaces, and some of them I got cleaned up pretty well. Others were a little rough to get to and a little hard to schmooze. So probably what I will do is, when I get it masked off and ready to shoot it, I am going to hit it with a real light mist of that titanium silver metallic. Just a light wispy thing, just enough to let you know that there's some sparkle to it. And that way we can go ahead and get the thing wound up with some seal coat, and another day, another $1 in the hole. We'll let it cure up, and in the meantime, like I said, we're going to do the dials. So anyway, I think that will wind it up. I'm not really sure if I want to go so far as to mold some, make up some molds for the knobs. I'll have to think about that, because I've never seen another radio with knobs like this. And besides that, there's brights in copper, brass brights, and they kind of look copperish, but I think they're brass. And I do have some shim-stock brass that I used for some of the zeniths that are missing the bright on the off-on volume knob. The band switch knob always seems to have its bright. The off-on volume knob, always the bright is missing off of those. I don't know what's up with that. It might be from heat, I guess. The adhesive gets soft and it lets go over time. So anyway, I'm going to give that a thunk and see whether or not, because all the regular knobs, they're all the same. This is the only thing that's different, and this is the high-speed normal tuning knob, and then one of these is used as the vernier thing. Yeah, they all got that little bump in it. You see there, that little, I don't know if that's supposed to be an indicator mark or whatever, but they're all that way. So I'd only have to make up 2 molds, this one and these. So anyway, we'll get this processed and get it uploaded to YouTube tonight, and tomorrow will be another day in paradise. Thanks for watching.